This is Zara Recaps. Today, Zara Recaps is going to explain second part of an action, mystery, and sci-fi movie called The Maze Runner. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Then, he hides as the griever returns. Thomas backs away, but steps on slime. Above him, he finds the griever dropping close to him. Thomas runs as the griever chases him, but he ends up on a dead end. With the griever lunging at him, Thomas climbs some vines and gets on top of the lower walls. The griever also climbs and chases him, so Thomas throws himself onto another wall and grabs the vines. The griever follows, causing the vines to collapse. The griever gets stuck on the vines, and Miho finally finds Thomas. They find a wall closing, so they hurry inside to put the wall between them and the griever. Thomas hangs back and waits for the griever to get close. Thomas enters the wall, barely making it to the other side before it closes. The next day, the maze opens, and to everyone's surprise, they see Miho and Thomas carrying Albie back. Miho announces that Thomas killed a griever. At the council hall, Gally highlights that Thomas broke the rules. Although Thomas saved Albie and Miho, killing a griever could spell trouble. Gally suggests punishing Thomas, but Miho wants to recruit him as a runner. Suddenly, they hear movement outside. The box is being lifted back up out of the usual schedule. When they open it, they see a young woman inside with a note in her hand that says she's the last one. She suddenly wakes up and gasps Thomas's name before passing out. Newt asks if Thomas knows her, but he claims that he doesn't. The others get nervous with the idea that the box won't be transporting more supplies. Thomas decides to go back to the maze, but Miho stops him. Thomas points out that they've never captured or killed a griever before, so they should investigate what they're up against. After much thought, Miho brings more people to help them. The group heads to where they left the griever's body. They then pull out the leg, which comes apart. Miho finds a device hidden inside its flesh and sees the number 7 on it and the label WCKD. They bring the device back to the others, and Thomas urges everyone to go back to figure out how to escape. Gally is against breaking the rules, so he stresses that Thomas should be punished. Finally, Newt decides that Thomas will spend a night in the pit as punishment, but he still officially promotes him into a runner. Miho takes Thomas to the runner's cabin, where they built a map of the maze. He reveals that they've already mapped the entire maze, but there's no way out. Albie decided not to tell the rest to maintain hope, but now, Miho believes they have a chance. The maze is divided into 8 sections, marked by numbers. Every time the maze changes, it opens one section in a specific pattern. Section 7 was open while they were inside, therefore, it's where the griever they killed probably came from. Finally, the girl wakes up but has climbed the watchtower and throws rocks at the gladers. Thomas gets her to stop, so he climbs up the tower. When he gets there, he finds the girl holding a knife. He calms her down, and she reveals her name is Teresa. When he introduces himself, Teresa claims that she doesn't remember him. Later, Thomas recounts that she came with a note, and the box hasn't been lowered since. Teresa recalls being in the water, being watched over by people, and a woman that mentions wicked is good. Thomas admits that he had similar dreams and saw her face in them. They wonder why they're the only ones with other memories other than their names. Teresa reveals 2 syringes that she found in her pocket with the label WCKD. Thomas figures that it's what wicked means. That evening, Thomas suggests injecting Albie with one of the syringes. Albie starts fighting back, so Teresa injects him while the others hold him down. Immediately, Albie loses consciousness. Gally then takes Thomas to the pit. Thomas asks why Gally hates him, and he explains that everything started falling apart after he arrived. Soon, Chuck brings food to Thomas while he's in the pit. Chuck shows him a small toy that he believes was from his parents, though he isn't sure. Thomas assures Chuck that they'll find a way out. Chuck then gives him the toy and says that though he can't remember his parents, he hopes that Thomas will find them and give it to them. However, Thomas gives it back to him and promises to help everyone escape so Chuck can give it to his parents instead. By sunrise, Miho and Thomas run to the inner ring of the maze and find that section 7 is open again, though it's not supposed to be. Inside they find metal structures they call blades along with Ben's discarded clothes. Suddenly, the device they pulled from the griever beeps. They follow where the beeps grow faster until they reach an area that even Miho doesn't recognize. When they reach a dead end, the beeping stops, and the number on the screen turns green. Suddenly, the walls open a path, and they walk inside. They reach a tunnel where a red light scans them. Something moves close by, so the two run away. Outside, the blades start moving, so they hurry out of the maze. More walls emerge from the ground, closing off the section. Miho and Thomas enter into a path just before it closes. Finally, they return to the glade and announce that they've found a new passage that could be a way out.